Well, hello, hello, hello. Good morning. This is Dr. LaWanda N. Evans, and I am just jumping on real quick because I want to share something with you all on today, something I want you to think about today and the rest of the week. So what I wanted to jump on and say was, being in a relationship is really about working together. If you're not willing to work together to work on the issues and challenges in your relationship, don't expect your relationship to get better. One person can't be willing to work on it or doing what's necessary to work on the relationship, and the other person decides that he or she doesn't want to do it or refuses to do it or decides that it's not worth his or her time. You can't do that and then expect your relationship to grow. You can't not be on the same page and think that, okay, my relationship is going to get better. In order for your relationship to get better, you have to be willing to work together. You have to be willing, if you're going to counseling, if you're working with a counselor and they're giving you tools that they want you to use, you can't just take the information that's provided to you and don't implement them into your life. You can't just take the information, don't do anything with it, where you can if you want to, but your relationship is not going to get better. You know what I'm trying to say. So I just wanted to encourage those who are in relationships, those of you who are married, those of you who are seriously dating, those of you who are engaged, please keep in mind that your relationship is not going to get better if you don't do the work. You have to do the work. Just like a car needs maintenance, your relationship needs maintenance as well. You can't just expect things to be a certain way when you're not doing your part. You can't continue to manipulate your mate into doing certain things or, try to force your mate to do certain things and then expect your relationship to get better. It doesn't work like that. Every relationship that starts out with manipulation, trying to force the hand of a person, any relationship that starts or has any type of stonewalling in it, any relationship where one or both persons are just totally selfish and refuse to change, those relationships have the hardest time surviving. And so you don't want to be one of those persons where you see that there's a problem in your relationship and you refuse to change. You see that things are not going so well in your relationship and you refuse to do anything about it. One of the things I always tell people, I don't ever tell people what to do because I don't believe in telling people what to do. But what I will do is give you tools. If you choose to use the tools, it's totally up to you. If you want your relationship to get better, you use the tools. You will apply them. So many people, they make so many, I would say, excuses about why they can't invest in their relationship, why they can't invest in each other. And what's funny is, especially those who are married, you did what it took in order to get that person. You invested. You made time, you rearranged everything, you structured your life in such a way where you can actually be a part of that person's life. And now that you've gotten married, or now that you're seriously dating, or now that you're engaged, you no longer do the things that you used to do. You no longer make time for the relationship. You no longer make time for each other. You no longer work on the relationship and do what needs to be done in order to make it work. Guys, I'm telling you, I work with a lot of couples. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't work together, don't expect your relationship to change. Don't expect your relationship to grow. And then for those of you who pretend that everything is all good in your relationship, you know that there's something's wrong. Your husband or your wife or your mate or your partner or whatever terminology you want to use, they know that something is wrong, but you want to carry on your day or carry on weeks and months as if nothing is wrong. That's a sign, number one, that you're putting your relationship at risk of not surviving. And so anytime there's any type of issues or challenges, you need to deal with those things. You know, I hear a lot of people say where my mate doesn't talk, I try talking to him. It may be the language that you're using. It may be the fact that you've been so manipulative in the past and you've pretended so much in the past that they can't or refuse to talk to you, which is not right, because you should be able to sit and talk to your mate about any and everything. If you're having a difficult time talking to your mate about any and everything, that's a sign that something is wrong. That's a sign that something is off. You know, so many times people take a lot of time trying to cover up the issues and challenges in their relationship. They try to do things to ignore the problems in their relationship. And what I like to say is, every problem you ignore in your relationship becomes a bigger problem down the road. Every issue you don't deal with in your relationship becomes a bigger issue down the road. Any problem that you don't communicate about and sit down and really work out together becomes bigger down the road. You know, and many times in relationships, people don't like to look at themselves. And so I want to challenge you to look at yourself. What could you be doing differently? What can you be doing better? What are some things you know that both of you need to work on in order to make the relationship better, in order to make the relationship grow? What are some things you need to change about yourself for your relationship to be better? What are some things that y'all need to sit down and talk to each other about in order to make the relationship better? Guys, a relationship doesn't work with just one person doing what it takes to make it work. A relationship don't work with one person halfway in and one person halfway out. I always like to say, especially when it comes to being married or either just being engaged or being in a relationship with someone, a person leaves emotionally first, then they leave mentally, and then eventually they leave physically. See, a lot of times people think, oh, they just walked away, or, oh, the relationship just ended. No, people leave emotionally first, then they leave mentally, then they leave physically. So it don't just start the day that the problems start. It actually starts way back when it was that first problem that was going on in the relationship. And so you don't want to be one of those ones where your relationship drowns, your relationship can't survive because you didn't deal with the problems from the beginning. There's so many people who have so many problems in their relationship that they have not dealt with those issues and challenges. And now you are year in, 6 months in, 5 years in, six years in, 10 years in, and still dealing with the same issues and problems. So I want to encourage you. Learn to work together to deal with your problems. Learn to face every issue and challenge in your relationship. Stop sweeping stuff under the rug. Stop ignoring the things that are going on. Stop pretending that everything is all good in your relationship when you know everything is jacked up in your relationship. Stop planning things and trying to go out and do different things when you know there's a problem in your relationship. Deal with those issues, because they only get bigger. They get bigger and get bigger and get bigger. Yes, it's okay for you to talk to people and say, hey, what did you do? What did you do? How did you do this? But you have to realize when people tell you what to do or what they would do in their relation, in your case, they're basically living your life for you. They're basically telling you what they would do if it was them. But in reality, you're not them, and your relationship is different, and your marriage is different, and your mate is different. So you can't use what somebody else would say, hey, if it was me, I would do X, Y, and Z. That's not going to help. But what you need is tools. What are some practical things that you can do? Does it mean you need to sit aside time at least 20 to 30 minutes a day sitting and talking to each other? Does it mean you should stop hollering and screaming and fussing and fighting every time there's a problem? Does it mean that you need to stop stonewalling? Does it mean that you need to come up with creative ways or a problem-solving method in order to deal with your problems? Is it that you need to learn how to communicate? See, this is the thing, and this is just my own opinion. This is Dr. Evans' opinion. I feel as if people need tools. I feel as if you need tools, and not only do you need tools, but you need the ability, you need to learn how to implement the things to help your relationship get better. You need to know how to apply the tools to your life, and then don't just use them for 3 days and say that don't work. No, it takes at least 21 days for a habit to be broken, or for it to change and have a new habit in your life. So you can't say, well, I tried this and it didn't work. No, you didn't try it long enough. And many of you are probably struggling in your relationship because of the way the relationship started. You manipulated your way in a relationship, or you were already with somebody when you started the relationship with the person that you're with, or you knew the person had somebody and then you started the relationship. Well, you know what? There are things that comes with that. And at some point, you got to get to a place where you got to set up boundaries for yourself, because I truly believe that there are many issues and challenges in the relationships that we don't have to go through if we really begin to look at the foundation in which we are creating our relationships. I mean, there's some things that are going to happen, but I also believe there's something that you don't have to deal with and you don't have to go through based on the foundation in which your relationship is built. And so I know I've said a lot this morning. I was not trying to come on and stay on this long. I just wanted to share and to let you all know that when it comes to a relationship, you got to work together. You got to be willing to work together. You got to be willing to set aside some time to invest in your relationship. Yes, you may have children. Yes, you may have 1,000 jobs. Yes, you may be a part of so many organizations. You're doing so many things, but there's always a way that you can improve your relationship. There are always different types of things that you can actually do to make your relationship work, to make your relationship better. But the thing about it, it really depends on whether or not you are willing to do the work. And if you're willing to do the work, your relationship can get better. If you're willing to work together, your relationship can get better. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Again, this has been Dr. LaWanda N. Evans. Just wanted to come in and share with you something that was on my heart, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.